Okay, welcome statistics students. This is your instructor, Corey Cogdell. Welcome to Math 1350, the new course number for stats. So let me just give you a quick orientation of how to get around and how to get started with the course. So this is the home page. If you click on the start here, or if you click down here at the bottom, it's a link to the start here. And I guess I have to log in again. Let's try this again. So once you log into Blackboard, click on your course. Okay, click on the start here or click down here at the bottom. Read the week 1 getting started. Basically, it just tells you that you need to read your course documents, your syllabus, your assignment schedule, and your login instructions, and watch the video, which you are, and then take your orientation quiz. So most semesters, this class will have proctored 2 exams that are proctored, meaning that you'll need to schedule a proctor if you live out of Roswell, outside of town. If you live within Roswell, we have a proctoring lab. It's in the library, and you can schedule an appointment with them, and you can just go in and they have computers set up and you can take your exams. So probably the last test, test 3, and the final exam will probably be proctored. Okay, so basically let's talk about how to get set up with the course, because all your homework will be done in what's called My Lab or My Stat Lab. And this has been linked to Blackboard, so all you have to do is click on this link. And your look will probably be slightly different than mine. I think it's going to log me in automatically because it remembers my credentials. So perhaps if I was to sign out and try it again, let's try this again here. It's going to ask me to enter my username and password, and it just keeps logging me back in. So it's let's go through the setup. If you did not have an account, let's go to the login instructions here. Okay, it says sign into Blackboard and enter your Blackboard course, and basically select any Pearson link. And what the Pearson link is that one that I clicked on. Okay, so it's going to say enter your Pearson account name and password to link your account. If you don't have an account, then you're going to click create, and your access code came with your textbook if you purchased it from the bookstore, or you can also purchase it directly from Pearson and probably save you a little bit of money. So you can use a credit card or PayPal. And you always have, I believe, 21 days of free access. Okay, so if you need access, you can get temporary access. And then you're ready to start the course. Okay, so that's how you get in to your homework. Let's talk a little bit about due dates. Now, I try not to make this video every semester because I am busy and I don't like to do things twice. So I'm going to try to be as generic or as possible. Let's go back to the Start Here tab. Okay, so now we've talked about how to create an account, or if you already have a Pearson account, then you can just use that one. Maybe you've had another math class with My Lab, My Math Lab. This class is called My Stat Lab, that basically runs on the same platform. Okay, so let's quickly go to the syllabus. So this information will change from semester to semester, but here are the things that you need to know. Okay, the textbook, the current textbook is the 13th edition. However, all my homework assignments are based on the 12th edition. And so if you want to purchase the 12th edition, or if you want to just use the ebook that's included with your access to My Lab, then certainly do that, because the 12th edition is the edition that I use for the homework and for the test. The material is pretty much the same. The chapter numbers are the same. Maybe a couple of the section numbers are slightly different. So there's the ISBNs for those two textbooks. If you choose to purchase them from a place other than the bookstore, you can purchase them in advance. Or you just use the ebook. Once you get into the MyLab, the ebook is readily available. And by the way, the ebook is also, if you click over here on the coursework tab, there is a link to the ebook as well. So you can click on the e-text and you can start reading chapter 1 and chapter 2. So chapter 1 typically is due the first week of class, at the end of the class, the end of the week, and assignments are typically due on Sunday night at midnight. Okay, so it looks like that the ebook has opened now. And like I said, go ahead and get started. You can scroll forward or type in the page number or look over here on the table of contents. So go ahead. It's really important that you read each chapter and each section. And so we cover chapters 1 through 8. We skip chapter 9. Summer sessions typically skip chapter 10, and fall and spring semesters do one section on correlation and regression. Summer sessions are very accelerated, so you're doing twice the work, or you have half the amount of time to do the same amount of work. So just be prepared if you are in a summer session to work really hard. You're going to spend a lot of time studying, reading your textbook, and working your homework problems. So let me just talk a little bit about, we'll go back to the syllabus here, and let's just talk about, sorry, let me find my syllabus here again. Well, we'll just link to it again. So go back to the Start Here tab, and let's just talk about the grading real quick, and then we'll talk about the assignment schedule. So the way the grading works is 40% of your grade will be homework, 40% of your grade will be tests. Chapter tests will have 3 of them, okay? And then the final exam will be 20%, okay? The grading scale is pretty typical. I'm going to round up. 89.5 is an A, etc. All your homework is done through MyStatLab, but you can link through it through Blackboard. And there's a late policy for 20% off any homework assignments, but you have 1 week after the due date to complete, otherwise your score will be 0. There are extra credit assignments after each test. I give you opportunity to basically redo the test. If you do all the corrections and do all the problems, again, as a homework assignment, you'll get 15% back on each exam. And those are available after the due date for each of the exams. The last test, if you will message me in Blackboard, I will open up access to you, just because you'll be testing right at the end of the semester for test number 3. And then if you're in an online class, your final exam will be proctored, assuming that proctoring is available, whether in Roswell or outside of Roswell. You can contact me and read your proctored testing information. Basically, you need to just notify me of who's going to be your proctor, and there's approved proctored sites. And so I suggest you to email me at least a few days in advance. All right, and then if you're on campus or live in Roswell, your proctored exam will be on the campus. It's in the LRC, which is it's the library, basically. Okay, and so you can call them and schedule an appointment. The phone number is listed on the syllabus there at the end, 647139, and you can schedule your appointment. I would suggest at least 24 hours notice. And then at the bottom, it talks about all of the policies, campus resources, misconduct, and the disclaimer. And then each semester will have a different assignment sheet depending on the due dates. Okay, so basically what we're going to cover is these topics: statistics terminology, week 2 frequency distributions, measurements of center, probability, binomial probability, normal distributions, chapter 6. Chapter 7 is estimating population proportion, mean and standard deviation, and sample sizes. And then chapter 8 is hypothesis testing. And then, like I said, in the fall and spring semesters, you'll also cover just a little section from chapter 10, which is regression and correlation. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this fairly brief. So let's go back to the Start Here tab and make sure that we've covered everything. I'm going to suggest that you read that document a little bit more carefully than I did. And so that was the syllabus. And then, of course, you have your assignment schedule, which will tell you when the due dates are. Once you get into the MyLab or the MyStatLab, it will also tell you when the due dates are. So make sure that you be mindful of those due dates, because though you have a week after they're due to do them for reduced points, I hate to see people lose points because they're late. And remember, after 1 week, it will turn to a 0. There are no late exams. You must notify me in advance if you're not going to be able to meet your deadline for your exam, and that would be for emergency situations only. So there's really no makeups for late exams. So once you watch this video, you can take your orientation quiz, and there's the proctor testing information and my contact information. If you're having tech support issues, if you're having login issues, you can click on the Pearson, or you can call Pearson tech support. They're listed at the bottom. Okay, so let's click on the coursework tab. There's a couple things worth mentioning here. There's the link to the MyLab. There's also the PowerPoint slides for each of the chapters. And then what you have under each of these chapters is videos that I've created. If you click down here on the video tab, you'll have YouTube videos that basically go over the content. And these are really helpful, especially as the course gets a little bit more difficult. Let me give you a quick orientation, and I'm sure you'll figure this out for yourself. But the MyLab, if you haven't used it before, I think it's a really useful tool, because there is, within the homework, there are these little help tools. The view example is one that a lot of students use. So you can see your due dates, and it's all laid out. The whole course is open at the first day of class. So if you want to work ahead, please feel free to do so. Let me just kind of show you what the assignments look like. Typically, there's 20 to 30 questions for each assignment. So this first assignment has 20 questions. Now, if they're multiple choice questions, which a lot of chapter 1 is multiple choice, they sometimes don't have view example. This one actually does have view example. There's also Help Me Solve This, which actually solves it for you, but then you'll have to do a similar problem. So most people choose view example, and it kind of just talks them through the problem, and you just click on continue, and it explains it. Okay, so also there's animation. There's a link to the textbook. I use a software program called it's called StatDisk, and you can download it for free. They have one here called StatCrunch, but I know StatDisk, and so again, you can recommend it. Just go to statdisk.org, and I'll show you that before I leave. And then you can also click on Ask My Instructor, and you can also print your homework assignments. Okay, so you can print the whole assignment if you so choose. That's a good way, because you will be allowed open notes on all your exams as well as on the final. So if you click on the Ask Instructor, it'll link to that particular problem, and then you can ask a detailed instruction. It'll email me the problem that you're having issue with, and I'll try to get back with you within 24 hours. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about StatDisk. As the chapters get a little bit more difficult, the software or the software tools will become very valuable. So if you go to statdisk.org, I believe, you can use the online version, which you can sign in with a Google, or I was thinking with Facebook. And it says that this your browser is not fully compatible with this website. But up here, if you look right above this symbol up here, is a download. So that's what I typically do, is I download it to my laptop. Now, if you're using a phone, I suppose, which is going to be awkward anyway to manipulate data, you probably want to get on a desktop or a laptop. But I would download it to my computer personally. If you're taking a final exam from a site off campus, then you probably want to have them download it. It only takes probably 15 seconds to download, and it is a free download. Okay, and throughout the course, I have those videos, those YouTube videos, and I will reference StatDisk quite often because it does save a lot of time in solving, especially the more complicated problems. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. I wanted to keep this one short, so I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, just click on the Course Messenger tab, and you can create a message, or you can email me, or you can also call me, and all those methods would be valid ways to get in touch with me. So I wish you the best of luck this semester. Remember, it's important that you read the textbook and stay up on your homework, because the due dates will really fly by. So you want to make sure that you're staying on top of that. This is a medium to difficult course for most people, although I don't know, I have a good 20% of my students get A's in this class. So it really comes down to hard work. If you're willing to put the time into reading and doing all your homework and truly understanding and mastering the content, I think you'll find that this course is really not too difficult. So, okay, well, I'll stop there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.